Let's get right into it. Number 7. The Bermuda Triangle, the invisible killer called rogue waves. When you hear Bermuda Triangle, you probably picture ships vanishing without a trace, planes disappearing in perfect weather, and eerie legends about portals or alien abductions. But the real culprit, something far more real and far more ruthless. Oceanographers have confirmed the existence of rogue waves, walls of water up to 100 feet tall that appear out of nowhere and vanish in minutes. These monsters are created when multiple storm systems collide at sea. And here's the twist. Two 30-foot waves don't just add up to 60 feet. They can multiply in height through a phenomenon called constructive interference. Picture this. You're standing on the deck. The horizon looks calm. Then a liquid skyscraper rises before you. Even the largest modern vessels are no match. The lesson here? We humans love to blame the supernatural when we don't understand something. But in this case, the ghost haunting the Bermuda Triangle is just pure physics at its most brutal. And a reminder that even with all our technology, the ocean still has the power to erase us in seconds. Number 6. Roanoke. The colony that didn't vanish, just moved in 1587. 115. English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island, off the coast of what's now North Carolina. When a supply ship returned 3 years later, the settlement was abandoned. The only clue, the word Croatoan carved into a post. For centuries, theories ran wild. Massacres, kidnappings, starvation, even supernatural disappearances. But archaeological evidence points to something much more grounded. The colonists likely moved inland and integrated with the Croatoan people, a Native American tribe. European pottery, copper rings, and other goods have been found mixed with indigenous artifacts about 50 miles away. So why did it take over 400 years to seriously investigate that area? Simple. The legend of a vanishing colony was more dramatic, and humans are drawn to drama. The real takeaway: when survival is on the line, cultural identity can shift completely. History tends to romanticize mystery, but survival is often the most human and least mysterious choice. Number 5. The Tunguska event, a punch from outer space. On the morning of June 30th, 1908, Siberia experienced an explosion so massive it released the energy of 1,000 nuclear bombs. Over 80 million trees fell in a perfect radial pattern, yet no crater. Theories included UFO crashes, secret Tesla weapons, even a miniature black hole. But modern computer simulations show it was a small asteroid about 200 feet wide. Travelling at tens of thousands of miles per hour, it entered the atmosphere and exploded about 5 miles above the ground. The result? A massive fireball and shockwave that obliterated the forest below without ever hitting the surface. Here's the sobering part. If an object no bigger than a city block can flatten an area the size of Houston, what else is out there? NASA tracks hundreds of thousands of near-Earth objects, but there are still countless we haven't detected. Tunguska is a cosmic warning. You can't stop what you can't see coming. Number 4. The Copper Scroll, a treasure map that might be real forget. Pirate maps with X marks the spot. Archaeologists discovered something far stranger near the Dead Sea. A list of 64 treasure locations, carved into pure copper sheets. The kicker? Metallurgical analysis revealed that the copper came from mines, active during the exact period when the Second Temple in Jerusalem was destroyed by the Romans. That timing has led many historians to believe the scroll could list the hidden treasures of the temple, stashed away by priests to keep them from being looted. And unlike parchment or papyrus, copper doesn't decay easily, meaning the creators wanted this list to survive for millennia. We still haven't found all the treasure, but the lesson is clear. History isn't only in textbooks. It might be buried beneath your feet, waiting for someone to read the right map. Number 3. The Beale Ciphers. When a mystery is just a clever game. 3 coded messages, allegedly pointing to a buried fortune of gold and silver in Virginia, have driven treasure hunters mad for nearly 200 years. One cipher was cracked, using the Declaration of Independence, describing the treasure in detail. The other 2, still unsolved. But here's the modern twist. Statistical analysis of the number patterns revealed they match the structure of popular 19th century literature, not genuine cryptographic mistakes. Real codes usually have irregularities. These were too perfect. The most likely explanation? The whole thing was a 19th century publicity stunt, either to sell pamphlets or simply to watch people dig useless holes. The takeaway: not every mystery is worth chasing, and when a story is too elegant, it may be art, not truth. Number 2. The Franklin Expedition, death served on a plate. In 1845, 2 British ships with 129 men set sail to explore the Arctic. They had the best tech of the time: steam engines, heated cabins, libraries, even a piano, and 3 years' worth of food. None of them returned. The Arctic's brutal environment was one factor, but modern science revealed another: severe lead poisoning from canned food. The solder used to seal the cans leached lead into the meals, slowly damaging the crew's brains and bodies. The officers, who ate more of the fancy canned goods, were hit hardest. Confused and paranoid, they abandoned fully functional ships and hauled heavy, useless items like silverware across the ice instead of food. Evidence even shows cannibalism occurred in the final stages. The Franklin disaster is a stark reminder. New technology isn't always safe, especially when we don't understand its long-term effects. Number 1. Jack the Ripper, the killer behind the silk shawl. For over a century, Jack the Ripper's identity haunted history. 5 women brutally murdered in London's Whitechapel district, their killer vanishing into the fog. The breakthrough came with a silk shawl found near victim Catherine Eddowes. Preserved for over 100 years, it still held mitochondrial DNA. Comparing it to living descendants of both the victim and a prime suspect, Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber, produced a match. Kosminski lived and worked in the exact area of the murders. He handled blades daily. Historical records describe violent episodes and severe mental illness. The unsettling truth? The most frightening monsters aren't always strangers in the dark. They can be the person you pass on the street every day. So yeah, sometimes the dumbest solution is the smartest one. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.